Alright guys, Scump here again today. It is Tuesday, CoD Champs is over, E United have won it. We're going to be going through some stuff that has happened over the last day or so, and of course, things are moving very quickly right now. Champs is over, there's a lot of things to be decided, of course. You know, the season starts probably in January. There's a long time to go until the next game comes out in October, on October 25th. Then we see what kind of events we have. But, of course, as I say right now, a lot of things are moving because we don't know which teams are going to be in the league next season. There's still franchise spots being determined. We'll talk about that briefly today, but we'll probably save a lot of this content or a lot of the things that are coming out for coming days because there's a lot to discuss and plenty to get through, so I'm going to break it down into kind of bite-sized chunks if possible. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you do, subscribe if you're new as always. Briefly wanted to say a few words. Thank you guys for the support throughout this entire year. CoD Champs is over now, so that means it's the end of the Black Ops 4 season. I've been covering it from the start. If you guys have been here the entire time, I can't thank you enough. But anyone who has subscribed or liked any video or watched any video over the last 12 months or so, then thank you very much. Wouldn't be at this point without you, of course, and I'll try and keep it going for as long as I can. But yeah, thank you again. So let's move onwards here, of course. These are the results just to keep your memory refreshed. E United, of course, walk home with the championship. We have this as well, just to bring it to your attention. These were the rings at the World Championship, what they looked like. So one of the coolest things I think we do in Call of Duty compared to other esports is have some sort of special prize for being the world champion. I honestly think they look really damn good this year. They kind of have like a diamond thing going on, and this is the side of them with the Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Honestly, very cool, very intricate. I wouldn't mind having one, but I need to probably grind a bit more Call of Duty if I have any chance. These were the total viewership numbers for the World Championship. On the whole, not bad. Last year, I think in the grand finals was the highest. We had something like 170k. That was, of course, Evil Geniuses versus TK. So that was honestly pretty damn good last year. This year, it eclipses it. The highest match was OpTic 100 Thieves in the losers final, where, you know, it peaked out at 180,000 viewers. The winners final, OpTic United, slightly lower than that. The grand final was also around the same sort of numbers. So, you know, not bad at all. We see what OpTic does to Call of Duty, but at the same time, still reasonable numbers for the grand finals. I mean, as I say, pretty much the same numbers we saw last year. So not tragic. Probably these teams on paper but might have been more exciting than last year's teams, but you know, whatever. At the end of the day, solid year of Call of Duty, and we just have to see how this league's going forwards. It's no secret that events and championships and whatever have much more viewership, much more interest, much more Twitter interactions than a league and a playoff system does on the whole. What Activision will decide to do with that going forwards next season, yet to be seen. We can only hope for the best, as I'll cover in the coming days. So I thought I'd bring this to your guys' attention. Another couple of things to mention. This is a big deal for those of you guys who play on PS4. There is an open alpha coming this weekend, just a few days, 23rd of August through to the 25th. Players on PS4 will get the chance to get hands-on with the Gunfight 2v2 mode, which we've heard from pretty much all the community members is the best mode and the most fun that they have had. But you know, who cares about whatever fun it is? You can actually play the game, use the weapons, and feel how the game feels this weekend. So I would get on that, and if you guys do play on PS4, if not, unfortunately, you'll have to wait for the beta, which is coming in, I think, only a couple of weeks, 12th of September, maybe something like that. Might be pulling that out of nowhere. But yeah, so it'll feature 5 maps, Speedball, King, Pine, Docks, and Stack. Don't really know too much detail about those, but I thought I'd bring this to your guys' attention, because if you haven't heard about it, it's a pretty damn big deal, I would say. These are also the statistics from the Pro League this year compared to last year, which I thought was quite interesting. You see how the peak viewers was much higher in the Pro League last year, or relatively much higher, but the average viewers this season was much greater, and I really think that's because the game was more interesting to watch. What I'm quite worried about next season is because, you know, Modern Warfare and World War II may well prove to be better competitive games than Black Ops 4. But Black Ops 4 was fun to watch. It had the colours, it was fast-paced, it was popping, there was a lot of things going on, and you can clearly see that in the average viewers figures. And, you know, even still, the hours watched for the Pro League 2018 is higher because the Pro League was much longer, there was more things going on, like there was much more events, or because it was 2 stages, right? It's what I was really attempting for there, despite the viewers being much less. So, you know, just some interesting interesting stats to run past you guys. Also, we have this as well from the Pro League this year, 62,000 peak overall. So just to kind of review the year going over this stuff. Rostermania though in just a second. This tweet from Mike Ruffael, I can't pronounce his surname, but this is Hastro. We will require all of our CoD players to live and train in our new facility in the Dallas area. It just makes sense with a lot more on the line next year. Time to build a bigger, better system. Of course, Hastro, the owner of Team Envy. So that's what he's referring to here. So, Rostermania, let's look through a few things here. A lot of players have tweeted out things and coaches as well as to exactly where their path is going to be next season. Very interesting turn of events here because, of course, we knew that after Champs things were going to change. I heard way back at, Anaheim that while I was out there that some of the guys that were on loan from FaZe are in contract discussion as to whether they're going to be coming back. Distinctly, Crowder, I think, or I'm not actually technically sure if Crowder replays is still on 100 Thieves, whether he's still on loan, but I know that Priestahh is for sure. Priestahh went out on loan from FaZe to 100 Thieves for the season. After the season was up, in a similar vein to how Attach went on to, of course, Evil Geniuses, after the season is over, he's now back on FaZe. So this is quite exciting times because yes, Attach of course was a fantastic player in the other half of the season. Now when he says back on FaZe, doesn't necessarily mean he's back on the starting roster, just means he's on FaZe Clan because we don't know what's going to happen with FaZe next season with franchising. We don't know whether they're going to get a spot. We'll look at that in a couple of seconds time here. There's a couple of teams that have locked in a spot. None of which are FaZe, none of which are 100 Thieves, another key thing to note. And Replays or Crowd or whatever, he said in a thing that he has a couple of offers to even be a player next season. Whether that means a player as a substitute, there was a thing that was leaked by Richard Lewis a couple of days ago, referring to how the season is going to be structured next season. Supposedly 7 to 10 players, a lot of big substitute bench. We'll of course go into that in the coming days. But I mean, wow, interesting stuff. So Attach of course back on FaZe, but we don't really know what that means. Same story with a lot of other players, guys like Gravity, guys like Phantoms. They're still technically part of FaZe. Priestahh I know as well, from according to what I heard at Anaheim, like they're making sure they try and get him back. Unless 100 Thieves have plans to buy a franchise spot next season. Hopefully they will. That would be a really, really big deal. If they don't, then fair enough. Maybe that is the correct decision. But if they do, then they probably want to keep hold of Priestahh. Maybe they can come to some sort of arrangement there. So moving on from Attach, and a lot of players, I'll go through a list in a second here, have announced similar things to this, but I thought I'd go through it. So Parasite says the following: now that the season is over, I'd like to announce I'm an unrestricted free agent for the 2020 CDL, basically confirming that Midnight obviously aren't going to have a franchise spot next season. Not like that was up for contention anyway, but a lot of the guys on Midnight have done a similar tweet, the likes of Frosty, etc, etc. So that's the plan for Parasite. Brian Saint as well says the following: with the season coming to the end, looking to be a general manager or a coach for one of the teams for the 2020 CDL. Fair play. So that's another Midnight coach, of course. Then we have this from Shocks. This is quite exciting stuff. With Champs wrapped up, want to put it out there, but after 5 years on Mindfreak, he's an unrestricted free agent. We've heard that with studying and gaming, etc, etc, putting all that time towards the game, he's finally graduated and now it's time to crack on, and there's a possibility that we can see him in the States. It would be very exciting because Shocks has been probably on the whole the best player out of Australia on the last 3-4 years, I would say, up there with Dens for sure. And Pharaoh says similar statements. He has a pretty long statement here. If you guys want to pause the video, go through everything, then feel free to do so. Just basically says everything he thinks about over the entire year. But, to finish it off, I know I have the talent. Nothing has changed. I'm still the top prospect that I always was, and I'm looking forward towards the future and hopefully get picked up by a franchise team. I'm currently still signed with Envy, so he's effectively a restricted free agent. You'll have to buy him out of his Envy contract, but maybe Ferro will be someone to consider. Of course, during the World War II season, he was a very strong player, and at times it's possible that he can do the same again. Who knows? Especially in that kind of similar style, he could be one of the best snipers in the game again. There's no denying that. So let's just make this smaller. This is something that Crone, CWL Intel put together. These are pretty much all the players that have said something. So I went through a few of their tweets, but I didn't want to go through literally every single one. So Brian Sate, Parasite, and Shocks, we had a look at that. Attach, Phantoms, similar tweet to Attach, Gravity as well. These are guys that have been on loan. Rated Wee Man, of course, on that Units team. They're not going to be staying there forever, not even an organisation. Pharaoh, Felony, of course, unrestricted free agent on EG. Atura, a coach, I think he was the Midnight coach, maybe the Elevate coach. Flopped around a few teams this season. Blast, even Karma said he's open to coaching, potentially, depending on what the Cronus Max, whether that's still used next season. I'll look into that tomorrow. Not enough time to go through it today, but Karma did say that if the Cronus Max is still used, which is like a third-party device which is needed to, reduce the Bluetooth delay, whatever, then he's possibly considering not playing anymore, which is, very interesting. That, of course, is a topic for another day. Saints, Tommy, Dereel, free agent coach from Elevate, Argy, an analyst, actually free agent of Splice. I didn't realize that was the case, but he's been their analyst for a little bit. I thought that was under wraps, but, there it is. So yeah, classic Zap. Riven and JP have gone to New York City as their coach, as coach and analyst. Have a look at that in a second. And Accuracy and Frosty, of course. So that's how we're going to finish out the video for today with these couple of notices. So 2 spots have been announced. A Florida spot for Misfits and the Miami Heat, and Los Angeles. So another LA spot, right, as far as I'm aware, because OpTic already got an LA spot, which is, I don't know how actually to pronounce this, Kronka or whatever. Probably pronounced much better than that. But yeah, as Inflammable Fire says right here, it was rumoured that Gen.G and 100 Thieves were in the running for this Los Angeles spot. And, Kronka, however, own the LA Gladiators spot from the OWL. OWL teams get rights to their first respected city. So if 100 Thieves and Gen.G couldn't get the LA spot or another LA spot, because, there's obviously 2, there's no way they're going to do a third, what exactly are they going to do about that? Are they going to go for a spot elsewhere? Who really knows? That's one thing to say. We'll probably go into more detail on that in the coming days, thinking about what other cities could potentially be available. Hopefully there is one in London. I might just try and go to a bank and try and get a load of $25 million myself to sort it out, because it would be disastrous if there isn't, I would say. And then we have this from Call of Duty NYC. So, of course, next season, we're not going to have these tweets coming from FaZe Clan, OpTic Gaming, 100 Thieves, whatever, with, millions of followers. Instead, it comes from this account with 3,000 followers, probably should follow them, saying the following: introducing the 2 newest members of the CWL NYC team. Coach John Boble, of course, which is Riven, just come off Evil Geniuses, because we know that EG aren't going to be in CoD next year. So all of those players will be looking for somewhere else to go. And analyst JP Krez. Now, this guy's been working with MLG for a long time doing the stats. Met him briefly in Anaheim. Seems like a really sound guy. He's going to get picked up as the analyst. It happened to Easy Mac earlier this season on FaZe Clan, getting picked up because he knows all the stat stuff behind the scenes. That kind of knowledge, very valuable for some of these teams. JP Krez has been picked up on that back. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Leave your thoughts down below on this. Some interesting stuff. Rostermania is going to be lit over the next few weeks. It's really what propelled my channel into existence last year, back in September time, when all the leaks were coming about as to where the OpTic players were going to go and whatever. Hopefully, something like that will happen again. Hopefully, we won't be completely left in the dark, because everyone likes Rostermania stuff, and I don't think the COD burner will be there to bail us out this year. But who knows? So yeah, like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you next time.